Turn off the light!
I don't see anything. It's late. You're just seeing things, Sarah. Where'd you go? I'm scared.
We are talking Dead Voices. This is a low-budget horror found footage movie directed by William Butler. It stars Lochlyn Munro, although he is only actually in one scene and is the most recognisable actor here. Outside of that, it stars Jacob Carl Young, who also wrote and produced this movie, Lauren Albo and Angelica Bryanes. Now, the story focuses on two sisters, one of which is making a kind of a film for her college project, I think it is. The other one is desperate to try and contact her dead or suspected dead ex-boyfriend who went off to Afghanistan, I think it was, in the military, obviously. So they decide to contact a spirit medium, and the other sister is trying to do like a film, like a documentary film on spirit mediums. They initially contact Lochlyn Munro's character, who warns them not to kind of get involved, and then he's like doesn't want anything to do with them, and then they contact a second guy, a much younger spirit medium, who instructs them to go to a cabin in the middle of the woods where one of the girl's ex-boyfriend's parents owned, and when they're there seems to be some type of satanic presence available. What will happen? You have to watch the movie to find out. So, let's first of all talk about what works. I actually quite liked some of the acting here. Before I did my own review, I had a quick look at what the kind of general consensus was, which I don't normally do. I like to kind of do my reviews without being influenced by anyone else. But I had a quick look on this one, and a lot of people have said the acting was quite poor. And I have to be honest with you, there are a couple of scenes where the acting isn't great. Mainly those scenes are when the guy's doing, well, both actors are doing his spirit medium scenes. They aren't good. But I have to say there are some good acting here, particularly between the two sister characters, where I did feel that their kind of relationship was quite genuine, to be honest with you. And even the kind of the younger spirit medium, there are scenes where I thought he did a pretty good job as well. It's just that there are a couple of scenes, especially Lochlyn Munro's character, who, to be honest with you, is the most experienced actor here. When he's doing his spirit reading, I got to be honest with you, that was a little bit painful. Anyway, so the acting wasn't too bad, and there is actually a reasonable story here, with a bit of a twist, so obviously you're not going to spoil for you. I thought the idea for the story synopsis, let's just call it that, wasn't bad. I do think there's some problems with the script, which we'll talk about in a minute, but the general idea wasn't too bad. There also, I think the movie does a good job of using like Foley effects, sound effects, things like that, into key elements, and there's a couple of sequences where they're outside in the kind of the woods. It does look pretty scary at times. I think it's kind of quite well done. And again, I'll kind of go back to some of the acting here when they're out in the woods and stuff like that. It does seem, you know, people seem genuinely terrified and things like that. So that in that respect, it was kind of good. And the movie plays a little bit like a kind of a mystery. So you kind of, even though I feel there are some story elements that are problematic, I was kind of still intrigued to find out, you know, what has happened. What's the story that has led them to this place, which was obviously a good thing. Okay, so what doesn't work? Staying with the kind of story and the script, the problem I think here is the script doesn't, it leaves room for some issues, I think, in storytelling, in regards to if you want to kind of pick holes at kind of logic and stuff like that. Again, I'm going to go into specifics because I don't want to kind of spoil certain plot elements, but I think if you were to pick too hard at certain story threads, it would kind of sort of seemingly unravel. The movie also has the tendency to overuse certain cliches. the amount of times where we see, especially the two sisters, kind of split up from one another, you know, when they are suspecting that something is kind of going on, is ridiculous. The camera runs out of battery, I think it's like 5 times, and you hear the little battery kind of bleep, and it's always at an inopportune moment as well. Cliche. You can get away with it once, maybe twice. 5 times, ridiculous. There's also, although I think some of the acting between the kind of like the interpersonal acting is good, the story really kind of makes some flubs in regards to realistic kind of ideas about what people would do. There's a scene, for example, where the girls are out in the woods and they hear a terrifying kind of like inhuman growl or roar. And what do? They get back in the house and one of them gets jiggy with the male character. Stupid. It's just stupid. You know, I often complain when I do movie reviews that I wish films would make people act in a realistic manner. And although I think there are some sequences in this movie where I think the dialogue seems quite natural, the reactions here just seem beyond silly. The movie as well, I think, gets a little bit wrapped up in its kind of its own mythology and comes a little bit muddled in its kind of storytelling. Like I said, I think the twist is quite good, but when we kind of get there, there's a lot of questions, to be honest with you, and there are certain things to me that felt a little bit like a bit of a leap in regards to kind of logic. There you go. It's so low budget, there's not really much in the way of kind of special effects, to be honest with you, so don't be expecting anything kind of too grandiose in this one. And even though the running time is fairly short, I felt like this movie outstayed its welcome a little bit. I don't think it's quite as terrible as some of the kind of other previous reviews that I've read, to be honest with you, all of whom have kind of given it like less than 3 out of 10 or whatever. I don't think it's as bad as that. I do think there are some elements here that do work, but it's really at best an average film in regards to a kind of a low budget kind of found footage movie. I don't think there's anything here that in any way makes it kind of anything other than average at best. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. I actually think I'm being fairly generous, to be honest with you, but I do think there are the idea behind the story is solid, and I kind of quite like some of the acting, some of the dialogue between some of the characters. I do think was quite good. So that's what bumps it up for me. I felt the script needed some more work to kind of flesh things out and make things seem a little less contrived at times. But 5 out of 10, I do think there are some elements here that were relatively strong. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.